But definitely enjoying our morning Zoom workouts, and we'll continue them. I work Monday and Tuesday if you want to do, 5 a.m. again, and I am off Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, so we could try to do like a later one on one of those days, or,
Yeah, I will. I'm down.
Cool. And we'll keep hopefully building it to the point where, people on our team will always have somewhere to go to work out with people. Like that would be like my vision of it for the future. So. Anything else? Anything you want to share, Stephanie, or questions you have, or?
No, I mean, the only thing exciting for me today is that I'm going to watch The Lion King with my mom.
Oh, nice.
We're going to eat lunch, and then we're going to see The Lion King. I'm super excited.
It's good. I liked it. I thought it was really, really good.
I am like a Disney movie fanatic. Especially like my era, like 90s. I'm like, The Lion King was my favorite.
Well, you might you might not like it then, just because you might like the original so much.
Probably so.
You'll see.
But I really liked Aladdin. I really liked Beauty and the Beast. I really liked that one.
Okay. All right then. Because I liked this Lion King better than the original because it was so real life. I mean, it's CG, so it's like super real life. But I recommended it to someone and they went and they're like, it wasn't as good as the original. And I'm like, I thought it was better. I'm like, it was like, so, I mean, it was like real, it wasn't like a cartoon. I mean, it wasn't real, but it was
right.
Well done. And it was exactly the same storyline and like exactly the same songs. I mean, they didn't change anything. So it wasn't like they veered from like the original.
Oh yeah.
Movie.
I liked all the other ones.
Yeah, I liked all the other ones too. But maybe there's some critics that, really like the original, and then, the new one is not going to ever live up to their expectations because it's just not the same, as the original. So.
Right.
Well, have fun. That should be fun and exciting.
Yes. I haven't had a date with her in probably like forever. Just me and her. Usually like Hunter's along or, someone's along. So it's just me and her.
That's very exciting. I hope you guys have a great time. Any other questions or shares before I hop into some story creating? All right, so let's just dive into a little bit of storytelling, because this was like the biggest, probably one of my biggest, it wasn't a takeaway because I already knew it. I just kind of sometimes you forget, you forget like what you learned, or you just hear it again and it reminds you like that you veered away from the original path. And what I've noticed this week, I'm going to share from like my personal business, and what I've noticed this week and what's been really cool is because of that business activity tracker, the success system, I'm not saying not to do it. And I'm not saying it's, you can't complete all of it every day, because everybody's life is different, So I'm not discouraging you from thinking, oh, it's too difficult to do this, because I know there's coaches who do more than that. They do 10 times that, and somehow it works for them. So I never want to like discourage someone if they're able to do all of it. But I personally, I don't do all of that every day. When I work anesthesia, I'm really tired. It's 8 hours of delivering anesthesia. That's pretty much what I can do for the day. And I can just barely check into our challenge group, do my own self-care, and, just maintain the people that I have, like my clients, and maybe like messages on IG and stuff. So for me personally, if I try to do that every day, if I stress myself out to the point of filling out those boxes every single day, it becomes like, this isn't fun for me anymore. It becomes really stressful. It feels like a big weight on my back and my shoulders, and like a job that I hate versus something that is bringing me joy and helping me help people. So what I've learned for my 8 years of coaching is, yes, you do have to grind, and you do have to do things sometimes that you don't want to do, or that, monotonous things that are boring, and you do have to step outside of your comfort zone. But you also have to find how to make this business work for you, where you feel good about what you're doing, where you don't feel like you're never doing enough, or you don't feel like it doesn't, kick in like your low self-esteem about yourself. It doesn't make you feel worse about yourself. Because for many years it did, because I was seeing all these coaches that were having so much more financial success and success in the business with growing their teams and stuff than me, like so much faster. And I was like, I've been doing this for like 5 years, and this person's been 2 years, and they've already done way more than I've done, but it's like everyone is different. And what they're probably doing, I didn't want Beachbody to be something that replaced 12-hour days with 12-hour days. I don't want to work 12-hour days. I don't want to work 8-hour days. I don't want to even work 6-hour days, like 3 to 4 hours a day, Monday through Friday, and then maybe a few hours here and there on the weekends, or 3 to 4 hours a day, Monday through Thursday would be great, and then a few hours, for I love that schedule, and that is kind of what I have now. I do my anesthesia, and on the days that I work, I don't really put that much time in. On the weekends, I give myself some flexibility, but like during the week, on days that I don't do anesthesia, I'm grinding, I'm working. So what I've noticed is that because of that success tracker, and I'm sharing this because I want it to be helpful for you if you're coming, if you're kind of feeling this way too, I would be like, I'm checking the boxes, I'm getting my work done, I'm engaging in the business, but my heart wasn't really in it, because it was like, oh, I just need to check the boxes. Like, I have this much time, I need to get it done. And what was happening in that was that I had a lot of conversations going with a lot of people, because you have to, thank people for watching your stories and initiate conversations and things like that. But I wasn't really taking the time to get to know like the people on a deeper level. And then I was like, oh, I got to keep checking these boxes. And so I keep reaching out to new people. But yeah, I wasn't even actually really getting to know the people I'd already reached out to. So what I did, I keep track of it all in a Google sheet of like the date, like week by week. I track who I'm talking to, and I highlight them, and I have them in different columns, and I can share that with you guys. And so what I decided to do was, one day I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to go back and I'm going to see where I'm at with all these people that I've already spoken with, like in conversations. And I'm going to go to their pages, and I'm going to see what they're doing. I'm going to engage on their pages. I'm going to watch their stories. I'm going to, like some stuff. I'm going to comment. Maybe I'll send them a message or whatever. So I started doing that, and I noticed that, I was like, wow, I have a lot of people like I'm connected with, like I only have 1,200 followers on my Instagram page, but I have a lot of people that I'm connecting with in conversations, and people that are watching my stories and things like that. So I went back and I like engaged on their page, and it reconnected, and didn't send them like, hey, I'm starting a new group, do you want to join, or anything. It wasn't an invite. I just did I freeze? Oh no.
Oh.
Okay, I'm back.
There you go. Yeah.
So it wasn't like I didn't send them a message like, hey, come join my challenge group, come join my team. It was just like, I watched their stories, and I, commented or whatever, and sent them like a simple, like, I don't know, one girl actually, recommended this under eye makeup cover, like for eye bags. And I'm like, what is that? Tell me more about it. And I ended up buying it. So I'm like, connecting with them on different levels. And through that process, something really cool happened. One of the girls, Nicole, had been watching my stories, and also I do that with my stories. I go through and I see who's watching my stories, and I go to their page and I watch their stories, and I like send them little emojis, and I like their posts, and I comment on their posts. And here's why. If this person's going to be someone that I'm going to actually befriend, and they're going to join my team, I want to know who they are. Like, I want to know about them. And I'm engaging on a, it's not like I'm being inauthentic. I'm doing it on an authentic level, So my point is, like, be more interested. And I've said this before, be more interested in other people. And that will keep them, like, they'll want to still watch your stories, because they're like, oh, she's engaging on my page now. Like, cool. Like, you're starting to develop a relationship with them by seeing who they are too. So just by doing that, one of the girls that I'll send them like a thanks for watching, thanks for continuing to watch my silly stories. Like, what's going on in your world? That's my thing. I'll write like, thanks for continuing to watch my silly stories, because I think they're like silly. I'm just like, whatever, but people watch them. So, And one of the girls was like, oh yeah. And we reconnected, and she was like, you know, I like really want to start, like, what's the difference between the recovery drink that you drink and the Shakeology that you drink? And I was like, sweet, you know, she asked me, right? And it's been a long time since I've had people, oh, is it freezing again? It's been a while since I've had like people, I don't have as many people reaching out to me, and I think it's because I've been too salesy. So they're like, oh, I don't want to be sold to, like, I don't want to reach out to her. So that was cool that it just came up in conversation, and I'm like, yeah, well, the Recover is just for muscle recovery, and the Shakeology is like a meal replacement. You know, it's made with superfoods, and it's got like 50 to 100% of your daily vitamins and nutrients and whatever. And I'm like, well, what are you working on? Like, what's going on? And she's like, oh, I'm good with workouts. Like, I work out outside and blah, 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 but I really want to clean up my nutrition. I've been like eating, you know, poorly. I need help with cravings. And I'm like, okay. And I didn't jump, even when she asked me about the Recover and Shakeology, I didn't jump right in and try to sell her. I just like answered her question, then asked her a question. Well, the conversation led to, she was like, oh, you know, is there any, I think she was saying something about it was a little pricey or something like for the Shakeology. And I'm like, well, if you do a package, you can get a better deal, whatever. So she had already been a customer, had bought Payo from like someone, a coach that she never worked with. Before, had already bought like Payo. So she already had a coach, but she never worked with the coach, because I made sure, I was like, okay, but you never worked with this coach, right? Because I know the coach and she's an active coach. You know, I'm like, but you don't have a relationship with this person. Like, and she's like, no, we never like worked together. I just like, I don't even know how that happened. I don't even know how she became my coach. I either signed up on her website or she was assigned to me. She had no clue like how, she didn't have a relationship with this person. And I checked, and she wasn't even like following the person on social media. So I'm like, okay. So I'm like, all right, here's how you switch. She's like, I'm going to look at the packages and I'll let you know. And she went on, I told her you could get the MM100. I forget. Somehow, I think I was suggesting like a small package. She went on like the page and was like, this is the one I want. And it was the MM100 with Shakeology with the pre and post workout. So it was like the full, she went on there and like researched it. And then I was like, okay, well, what flavors do you want of everything? And I sent her the link and she ordered it like this. I haven't had someone that just was so simple like that, where it was easy, that there was no real like, I mean, but mind you, I can look back. Hold on, let me see, and I'll tell you guys something. For how long have I been in touch with this girl? Like, in touch. And I'm not saying, you know, let's see. Okay. Since May, June, July, August, September, 4 months, the end of May. And my first message was, hey, how are you? Thanks for following back. What made you create an Instagram? Love your outdoor posts. I do miss the mountains living in Florida, but at least I'm close to the ocean. Hope to connect soon. And then she wrote me like a message back. And at the end, she said, how long have you been doing the coach thing? Always looking for more inspiration. So excited to follow your journey. And she like answered me, and then I answered her back, and I talked about coaching, and I asked her what she did, and talked about Hawaii and living in Hawaii, and, you know, whatever. We went back and forth throughout June. And then did I ever actually invite her? I did. I was like, so we talked on May 29th, and then in June I mentioned like, okay, so she's a dental office manager and she loves what she does. And I guess in one conversation, I talked about my dentist, and then I said, oh, she was asking about, here's what it is. Sorry guys, I'm like trying to scroll it really quick and get my thoughts together. So she's a dental office manager, and she's at the top of her earning potential, and she wants more is what she said. So she's still not 100% sure how to monetize her Instagram page, but she's starting with some affiliate program marketing and planning to eventually offer virtual admin services. And she wants to find other passive income options as time goes on and she gets more comfortable. So she was asking me for like advice on how to like, oh, that's what it was. In her prior message, she was asking me how to share on Instagram, like how to take videos, how to take pictures, not like related to coaching, just like asking me how to like build her page or whatever. And so I responded and she came back with like, you know, whatever. So then I was like, well, have you ever thought about doing coaching like what I do? It seems like you'd like it and you'd be great. And then she responded and said she thought about it. She has some friends doing it. She just doesn't think it's for her. She doesn't ever do any exercise programs. She works out outside. And she wants to just be like an affiliate. She's still figuring things out. And she likes my birds and have an awesome weekend. And then, I chatted back, and then I asked her at the end of our conversation, is there anything you'd like to see me post more of on my page? So I didn't just because she said no, I invited her to look into coaching, right? But just because she said no, I didn't stop messaging her. Am I freezing again, or is it working? Is it working? Okay. So I didn't stop messaging her. I wrote her and said what else do you want to see from me? Okay. So I'm still continuing the conversation. I think that is probably where you turn a lot of people off. If you invite them and then when they say no, you just stop messaging them. You're like, oh, they're not going to do it. Moving on. Because then they think all you are is trying to sell them something. So she said, nope, just being you. I love the authenticity. Okay. Thank you. I wrote, thank you. You too. I'll keep supporting your post too. And then on the 17th of July, so a month went by. On the 17th of July, I wrote her and said, from my story, because she was watching my story, I said, thanks for continuing to watch my silly IG stories. How are you? And then she went hey, been busy, blah, 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 long message. We recently opened a second office in a neighboring town, starting to calm down now, but I need to turn my focus back into growing my audience. So she has some interest in growing an Instagram page. I want to write more, and I'm getting into blogging. I'm consistent with writing almost daily, but I suck at taking photos. Now I need to get past my fear and start figuring out how to share. Looks like you had an awesome time at Summit. I can see the attraction for sure, though many people in one place is too overwhelming. And then I wrote back and said, got you. Well, if you want to do a blog, I'm giving her advice about blogging. If you want to do a blog, then you need to use photos too, not just write, because people want to see you. And I'm you could always hire someone to take pictures of you. And that's what I do. I'm it's a tax write-off because you're using it for a business. And then I was telling her how to brand herself, niche marketing. I was think of 5 things that make you you, and then that's what you write about. And then I talked a little bit about Summit. So I didn't, again, jump in and invite her to coaching. I just gave her advice about branding herself on her Instagram and whatever. And she wrote, thanks for the tip. I'll spend some time thinking and journaling on that. I hope to have a light bulb moment where an idea clicks and feels right. I know consistency is the key. You're welcome. Feel free to send me questions if you think of them, and I can help. I started with a long list and then narrowed it down. Okay, that's it. And then on the 20th of July, I sent her this Instagram follower chain where you go and you could follow people. It's a chain where you get followers basically. And I was I don't know if you want to participate in this, but I just got it and I thought it was pretty clever. If you don't want to do it, just let me know. And you could gain some followers on your page. And she wrote, I don't want to do it. I was okay, cool. No problem. Thanks for letting me know. And then she was still watching my stories. So I responded to a story on the 24th of July and asked her just thanks for continuing to watch my stories, even though the chain message wasn't your thing or whatever, because she still continued to stick with me, And then on Wednesday, I posted a picture of chips, those Terra chips that I like, and I wrote her have you tried these? Because I went through my stories and messaged people from that chip page and just asked a bunch of people have you actually tried these? I'm they're fucking awesome. Nothing to do with Beachbody or whatever. It's chips. And a bunch of people answered, and I'm having conversations about that chips. With people can you get them in Canada? Blah, blah, blah. So anyway, she wrote, no, but I'm intrigued. Also wondering what's the difference between recovery shake and the Shakeology. So see how I didn't, I invited her initially and then I let it be. And that's how Stephanie came on board too. Kaufman is we talked about her coaching and then I just let it be. And I never once reached back out to her. I just shared on my page. I built my brand. She watched and eventually she came in. So I said, don't start with the chips. They're too addictive. And then I wrote, recovery is BCAAs for muscle recovery. Shakeology is a full meal replacement, and it's made with 70 whole foods and superfoods. Have you tried them? And she said, I used to drink Shakeology years ago. I just went through some financial difficulties and felt like a luxury. I could save. I cut out to save, but my eating has fallen off track, and I know the shake helped. So I was oh yeah, it's helped me with cravings and satisfied and junk and whatever. And I asked if she was a coach to get the discount, because obviously she was saying she had financial, but it wasn't now. I guess it was before. And she's no, I don't think so. How much of a discount do you get? And I'm 25%, but it's not at $15.95 a month. It saves you about $18 a month on Shakeology. Did you ever work with a coach? And what are your goals? And she wrote, never worked with a coach. I bought the PIO program and got into shakes for a while. So obviously, like, she never worked with her coach. And then she's like, right now it's a food thing. I work out outside. I just keep getting stuck in cycles of eating like lots of junk food. I'll look at the pricing and options in the next few days and let you know to make sure you get the credit. Like, okay, so, and then I wrote, got you. Did you like the PIO? And I wrote, you know, food is definitely the toughest thing. And then I mentioned BOD, like if she wanted to add on BOD, that she could get, at least have that for supplementing her workouts outside. Sorry if I'm taking a long time going through this, but I hope this is helpful. Okay. All right. So then I told her, if you do the Shakeology and you do like BOD, you can have workouts to do when you don't work out outside. And I'm like, oh, and I have a $10 off coupon code you can use if you spend, you know, 140 or more. And I sent her the Shakeology challenge pack, the MM100 Shakeology challenge pack, which is $160. And I was like, and you can get the MM100 with it, or you can do Shakeology on its own for $130. And then I have my online support and accountability group. So I'll invite you to that too. And just let me know what, you know, what your email is and what Shakeology flavor. And she's like, this isn't, must be American dollars, because she's actually in Canada. And she's like, so it seems to make sense for me to go for one of the challenge packs. Looking online, it looks like the annual BOD, Shakeology, and Performance Deluxe is what I want. So she went and picked that out. Like, I was doing like a 160 package. She went to a 260 package. So either that are yours with the Recover and Energize, because I want that. I want to try the Energize, and I figure might as well get the Recover. Here's my email. My old coach was this, but I never worked with her. Okay, no problem. So I was like, yes, that's American. That's the best deal. And I have the $10 off coupon. So here's the change form, like send her like the coach change form. And then I asked her, you know, which flavor Shakeology, and whether she wants vegan or whatever, and if she wants Recover and Energize, which flavors, and if she wants those in one-time order. And then I created her link for her, and then, you know, she answered, and I created her link for her. And I gave her the discount code, and she enrolled like that evening. So it was so my point is that I think a lot of times we get caught up in like, oh, I need to finish what's on this list, right? I need to finish what's on this checklist. And we forget that it's not just like, it's connecting with people, you know? It's not just like checking things off. It's like, and this girl, when I look at her page, and she's like an outdoorsy, like adventure type, like in Canada, like she hikes and stuff. She's like similar, you know, to me. And the coach that she was with is not like that at all. So I'm not surprised that she's not really following that coach, and they never really had a relationship, because I know, you know, the person, and she's more into like being pretty and stuff, you know? So no problem. But I was like, she probably wouldn't, you know, stick around with that coach anyway. It's just, and what made me feel really good about that is like, this is a really extremely successful coach that she switched from, but she never had a relationship with them, right? So I'm not like stealing any, you know, she never had that relationship with them. It's like, I've had people that have ordered like a challenge pack that were a customer that were assigned to me. And I reach out to all my customers that were assigned to me from the lead program, but some of them don't respond, or maybe they never got my email or whatever. And she actually recently, someone enrolled as a coach with the challenge pack, and I reached out to her right away. And within a couple of days, like, it had disappeared and she never answered me. So she was someone that was assigned to me, but we never had a relationship. And she found another coach that is supporting her now, and she signed up as a coach. You know, what am I going to do? Like, she wasn't mine, you know, she was never with me. She was never my customer. We never had a relationship. So as much as it stinks, like, too bad, because maybe I could have somehow gotten connected with her. She'd be a coach on my team, but I didn't. There was no way for me to. I'm sure I emailed her. She maybe never got it or whatever. So my point is that what it showed me is to have an abundance mentality, because I could think, oh, this person, you know, this other coach that's extremely successful in the business, like, why would anyone want to be with me? Why would anyone want me to be their coach if they have the option of being with that person? Well, that person isn't going to be their jam, you know? Like, I'm going to be their jam, or vice versa. Like, I could have someone on my team that I'm not their jam and they want to go with someone else. So it helps me to remember, like, have an abundance mindset and know that you are going to attract your particular person that's like attracted to you. Hi. For a reason, and they are your avatar, you know, like she looks like from her page, my avatar, like an outdoor adventure type, you know, like super, like kind of almost tomboyish, you know, like nature. Hi. So anyway, that was really cool. And my point of this whole like spiel is that don't get so focused on like checking off those boxes that you forget about the fact that you are building relationships through your posts. So put more time into building your brand. What that reminded me of is I need to put less time into like doing all these things and checking all these boxes and put more time into the thought behind building my brand and showing people what this can do for them and showing people who I am so that they can see if I would be the right fit as a coach for them. Because that way, if I'm focusing that energy and attention on like building that brand and attracting the right people, then I won't have to do so many of these check boxes because I'll just have people asking me. So don't get so set on like those check boxes that you forget to just think about what your brand is. And your brand is obviously you and you sharing your story. And I've gotten really good, much better, I think, in the last couple months at sharing results, like sharing like in my stories and also like sharing people's like, you know, like giving people shout outs, recognizing people. And I do that twofold because one, when I recognize my client or like, I know I've done it with you, Diana, for things that you posted or whatever, it makes that person feel good. I think it helps them feel more committed to their journey because they're like, oh, I'm getting a shout out like that. It feels good. And that helps them stay on track longer. I really do. I don't know why, but the people that I've been shouting out, like some of them have fallen off the wagon a million times and I feel like they're staying on a little bit more because I keep like putting them on my stories and they're seeing themselves and they're sharing it. And then the second fold is that other people are seeing it's not just me that's doing this. You know, they're seeing like I'm supporting these clients. You know, these are my clients or coaches. Oh, did it freeze again? Oh, it keeps freezing. It keeps freezing on me. Sorry. So, and the second fold is, can you hear me? Is that there also people that are following me are seeing that I am a part of a team and we're doing this together. It's not just, can you guys hear me? Yeah. And that this, like, I think that it's really important to bring in your clients and your team. Like you guys can use, if you ever can use anything of mine that I post or share and you want to do by all means, like use whatever of mine you can to show that you're not just doing this by yourself, you know, because they want to see that this, like, that's what people are attracted to is like the relationships, is the community, you know, and that's a big, so I've been really trying to focus and zero in, and Jana really coming on the team and being a new coach has showed me that I wasn't showing that enough because she did it a lot. She does it a lot with like her friends because she's got a lot of local friends that are doing this with her and she's always sharing like, oh, we're working out together. And oh, and if you follow her page, you see that she's doing this with people and people are doing this with her. And she's attracting like people wanting to be a part of that community. So she really showed me like, oh yeah, I need to start sharing more of that, you know, because I was doing like a lot of just sharing myself and not enough of sharing like my team. So I've gotten better at that. Do you guys have any questions about that? Does that all make sense? Did it come full circle to a point? I hope so.
Yeah, it did. I actually have a question about the switching coach thing, because when I did my stories about I wanted to try dry shampoo. So that was my story, and I said, if anyone knows of any dry shampoo, please let me know. Well, I had this girl reach out from Monat. I guess it's a shampoo. Yeah. Okay, so she reached out, oh, I know, I have the thing, I can hook you up if you want no information. So I was like, hell yeah, give me more information, you know. So I went to her page, started looking at all of her stories, all of her things. Well, I also see that she does Beachbody. So I said, oh, I went through a whole bunch of talking to her about different stuff. And I said, well, I see that you do Beachbody. Like, are you a coach or are you just a customer? You know, because if she sells shampoo, like she could do Beachbody. You know what I mean? So I asked her, and she says, yeah, I am currently a coach. And then she went on to say, but I don't know if I'm in my right upline, because my upline it's like it's too big, and she wants more of a family oriented coach. And at that point, it's like, I don't know when I'm not allowed, but I don't want to be that icky coach that steals from other coaches. You know what I mean? So it's like, at what point do I know that it's okay to invite her to our family, or anyone for that matter? Because I'm like, well, if she's not happy, but then again, I'm like, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Well, there's a couple things. So let me address number one. If someone's already a coach, they have to quit and they have to wait 6 months before they can re-enroll with another coach. So she'd have to take a 6-month break if she wanted to switch teams. I've had people come up to me and ask to be on my team that are on teams that are really successful. They're coaches, like, because I used to run Super Saturdays and stuff, and so people would be attracted to me because of my success in the business, and they'd want to switch. And I always said, prosper where you're planted, because you can be successful in this business with anyone as your upline. You know, I mean, there's so many coaches. Lindsay Matway, she had no upline coach, and she's built a multi-million-dollar business, you know, without an upline. So, and she just, you know, self-taught. Okay. So my point is that you can succeed anywhere. Now, I would definitely tell the person to prosper where you're planted, and you know you get out what you put in, and it's all on you, because this is your business. You're the CEO of your company. Your success depends on you, not your upline. That being said, I have seen some people. Actually, I've seen a coach that was on my team in my downline. She wasn't a personally sponsored. She was one of my PS coaches. She's on another team now. Because her coach quit. Her and I really never had that much of a connection. We didn't have a connection. And she ended up re-enrolling, like, you know, a year later with another team. And she looks like she's having success. She looks happy. She looks like she's having fun. And, you know, I'm happy for her. Honestly, it took me a little while, because I felt like that, like, hit of like, oh man, you know, she was on my team. Like, if I would have been better at building a relationship with her, she might've stayed on my team. But she probably never would have done anything on my team, because she wasn't my girl. Like, she wasn't my, you know, we weren't connected. Like, we didn't have the same interests or whatever. And she looks really happy. Like, she's found her girl tribe or whatever, you know? So I believe that you can have more success on another team, because it could be timing. Like, maybe timing wasn't right when she was on our team, and then her coach quit, and maybe that was discouraging. And then she's now, you know, with a coach that she chose. So I do think that you can succeed. It's all about belief, right? So if did it freeze again? It's all about belief. So if I have someone on my team that believes that they'll never succeed with me as their upline, then they won't. And if they go and join another team, and because they're on that other team, their belief in themselves builds, because they believe that they can succeed with this person, then I think they could. Now, that's the only reason that I would say it would affect someone. Not because you can't get as much help, or not because you have the same business. But if you're in one place, I've even had it with people that left Beachbody and went to other companies, you know, that were coaches on my team in my downline. If they never believe that they're going to succeed as a Beachbody coach, and they believe they're going to succeed selling wine or whatever, or makeup or whatever it is, if their belief in themselves, I'll tell you, probably 9 times out of 10, I'd probably even say 99 out of 100, they're going to have the same results as they did where they were. But that 1 out of 100 might have a different result, because their belief, for whatever reason, with that new endeavor was so much more that they did succeed. I do believe that, but I think it's rare. So for me, I'll always tell them to go back to their coach and prosper where they're planted. And I'll say, if if you're really, really unhappy, and then, yeah, of course you can sit the 6 months out. But I'll tell you what, I'm going to tell you this. Every coach that I've had sit the 6 months out, and rejoin me, like they were on another team and they haven't done anything. They never went anywhere with me either. So just a little food for thought. If they're not doing anything where they are, they're probably not going to do anything with you either. And I invested time into those people. So it's just something that it's not even about stealing or being icky. It's just like, that's what I've learned. That's what my experience has been over the 7 years, is that I'm always like hesitant to even enroll someone now that's already been a coach on another team. So I'm like, well, if they didn't succeed over there, it's on them. That's why they didn't succeed, because of the work they didn't do. Right. So how are they going to be any better on my team? And none of them have ever done anything.
Right. Because I definitely thought about that too. Because I'm like, well, if you're with a successful coach and she has like all of this downline, then obviously she knows what she's doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if she has a big downline, then obviously you need to see what she's doing so you can create your big downline as well. So I've thought about that as well.
I wouldn't spend much time with them as a prospect. If you like their products and you want to, I think it's pronounced Monet.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. It looks like a French Monet. I mean, I'm a NAT. I think it's Monet. I'm just guessing, but
it sounds better than Monat.
I know it does. It looks like it would be pronounced that way. But so, I mean, if you're interested in her products and you want to build a relationship with her, by all means, do it. But don't look at her as like a Beachbody person.
Right.
That's what I would say. But
all right, cool.
Any other questions?
No, I was gonna say they do have good dry shampoo, by the way.
Oh, good. I'm glad you like it. And any other questions or shares?
I actually did forget. My friend and I are doing a event in September together. She is a Young Living consultant, and we're going to be doing a fall into healthy living since it's going to the fall season, and she's going to be sharing like different essential oils for like sore muscles and just relaxation. So it's like you're prepared for your workouts, and then I'll talk about nutrition and all that kind of stuff. So I'm excited but nervous.
Well, let me know how that goes. I did one of those, but I did it with makeup. I did it with like a Mary Kay consultant.
Yeah.
So it wasn't as, it didn't go hand in hand really. And what I realized through that is like what my experience was, and I'm just sharing this and I'm not discouraging you. Probably it would be better if it would have been something that related more than makeup, but like people only have so much money to spend, and it was much easier for them to just purchase some makeup than to commit to like a fitness program or nutrition. You know what I'm saying? So she actually did really well. She like sold a lot of makeup, and I didn't enroll anyone from it. But I think yours is yours seems to go a little better, like healthy living, and it's all about building the relationships long term anyway. And the people that were there with me weren't people that I really wanted to build long-term relationships with. So I only did it the one time. And you know what? I did have one of them eventually, like later down the road, probably like months later, enroll as a customer with me. So I don't know. Just go into it, focus on building relationships. That's all I can say. Focus on building relationships. Is this really a person you can see yourself hanging out with, being friends with, having a relationship with? Because if not, next. Like you're looking for your people.
Yeah, she actually is one of my customers. So It kind of worked out perfectly. And like some of the people that are already saying that they're going, she already has a relationship with, and like, ouch, Ellie, don't pull my hair. Already like have that bond with her. So like it kind of, I've snooped on their pages to see like how they are, and they seem to have similar likes based off of what I've seen on their page. So I'm excited, but like my thing is I'm very shy, and just getting up in front of people and talking is like going to be the hardest thing.
Well, good for you for getting uncomfortable, and it's just going to get easier. It's going to keep getting easier the more you do it. So just focus on, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just messy action, right? Like Jonna says, take messy action, and all it's going to do is help you get better, you know, for the future. So.
And quick question. I was thinking about bringing like energy balls from like Shakeology.
Yeah.
So do you guys have any like favorite recipes that you've done with the energy balls
I don't.
before? I have, but I don't know if it's something that everyone would like. Okay.
I would, if I were you, I would
Marissa?
also, in addition to that, like I mean, I don't have a favorite energy ball Shakeology recipe I like, but there's plenty that you could find.
Yeah.
In addition to that, I would also I used to do like shake and shares or whatever, and I'd bring like those little Dixie cups, like the ones that you have like in the bathroom for your kids, and just make a Shakeology and just give them, or make a couple and let them try like different
That's a good
Shakeology.
idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like those
Great.
little tiny Dixie cups, and bring like, so they could try different flavors, but they just get a little taste of it. So you're not making like a million shakes for a million people.
No, that's smart. Thank you.
Yeah. Those little paper, you know
Yeah.
what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like,
Thank you.
Yeah. So do that. And then I would, like, my aunts were here and they both were asking about Shakeology. So I made like, but it was just 3 of us. So I made 3 different flavors and they tried them all, you know, like, so you could try like that way and make different recipes, you know, and
Yeah.
ask about allergies too, because you don't want to obviously. Okay. Yeah, I would do that. And then you could even there's like some simple like fixate appetizers, like, you know, I know when I did like a shake and share in Hawaii with one of my coaches, because she happened to live in Hawaii and I happened to go out to visit my brother there. And so we got to meet in person and we did a little shake and share while I was there with her people. She made some muffins from the Fixate, and she made some little cucumber roll up thingies, and she made a couple recipes from Fixate, and then we did like a little presentation. And then I actually had like a slideshow, like presentation. I focused more on the business is what I did, was I talked a lot about, like, I was like, okay, here's, you know, they tried Shakeology, it was like, but here's the part that I'm passionate about, which she was a coach and we were trying, you know, to obviously, so I was going over everything about the business and what, you know, what it was like to be a coach, and, you know, my income and potential and what my earnings had, you know, showing them like slides of things. And then I did like a little presentation. So.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, I hope that's helpful. And you could also, another thing you could also do is, since it's not for a while, is you could go on like YouTube and just Google like shake and share or Shakeology shake and share, and try to see if you connect with, you know, a coach that obviously has success, that, you know, has some tips on that. Like, because I'm sure there's coaches out there that have done them, and it does work. I did have success with shake and shares for sure, hands down. It was just the one that I did with the makeup, I was like, I won't ever do that again. But I would have done it with something else, like another product. I just wouldn't have done it with makeup again, because it just didn't, you know, just didn't go. So I would do like an essential oil one. And every single time I've done like an in-person thing like that, I've always enrolled people from it. But it's afterwards, not like there. Or if I've done it with my coach, because like some people, like the Hawaii, she had several people that signed up with her from that event. So
yeah, I was thinking about doing like a sign-in sheet kind of thing, and like having them put their name down and then their email. And then I was thinking about doing like a raffle kind of thing, possibly, but not like taking people's money, that type of thing, but just like put your name in the jar. And then I was thinking about doing a prize, and then if they continue doing like the coupons, I was thinking about making that part of the prize, and then like a consultation and something of that nature.
Yeah, you could do you could have, like, that's how they get entered into the raffle, is you could have them write their name, phone number, and email on a piece of paper, and then you keep all those.
That's true. Very true.
That would make it really, and then if
like
people
active.
Yeah. And then you could have, that would be a simple way to collect their information. And you could even say, like, if you're giving me your information, then I'm assuming that I have permission to contact you, just so that they know that they might be hearing from you. And then if you wanted to do prizes like a consultation, yes, for sure, like a free consultation, or the other thing that you said, one of your coupon codes, yes. And you could even make, if you have like a packet of Shakeology and like a packet of Energize, you could make little goodie bags, like couple, like in raffle, give those away so that they can try them and have your card in there or whatever so that they can contact you if they like them. So it's you're, just be creative. Like there's so many different things you can do. And then it's all about the follow-up, and the follow-up, what I would do personally, like I just had a thought while we were talking about it, is I'd then definitely want to get them added up on social media, and I'd probably want to invite them to something that's free or like a clean week to get them started like with something simple, just to show them that I can add value versus trying to go in and like for the sale and building the relationship, because these are people that you don't know, right? They're completely cold market. So that's what I do.
How's Clean Week going? Is that something you would recommend as a free group?
Well, they have to pay for a Clean Week, but if they want the shipping,
that's true. I forgot
if they
about
want,
My free group is going okay. I've had most of my people are messaging me on the side, but I think it's because they're all my friends and family. So they're like personally messaging me. They're not going in the group like I want them to. Like I've gone live and I'm like, oh, what are your thoughts and all this? And they don't do it in the group. They message me. So, but I mean, at least they're messaging me, asking questions, but I'm not finding that they're engaging in the group like I would like them to. But I think it's just because it's my mom and my close friends. But it's definitely fun. Like I'm introducing a few people, you know what I mean? And I have, not everyone I think is going to, which obviously they don't, not everyone is going to purchase something, but I do believe there's going to be a few that do. Yeah.
well, it's almost 11, so I'm going to end the call. I'm glad I got to see you ladies, and I'm so excited for this weekend. I'm going to like my reggae concert that I've been looking forward to forever. So
Have fun.
all right, thank you. You guys have a good weekend.
You too.
Bye. You
She's
too.
blowing you a kiss.
Mwah. Bye.
See ya.